Our next guest is going to blow your minds with just some amazing, amazing, amazing information. We have our valid guest, Mr. Damel Carayol. How are you?
Oh, I'm just fantastic. Wonderful, wonderful. Happy to hear your voice.
Really happy to have you on the show today. And as you know,
Thank you so much.
there is so much going on in your life and what you've achieved. Singer, songwriter, Damel, essentially an artist born in Banjul, the Gambia, one of my favorite places, I must add. You know, you're an artist, painter, singer, songwriter, poet and musician. I absolutely have to applaud you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're absolutely amazing.
That's quite an introduction. I hope I can live up to all that.
And why not?
Yeah. Well, these are the different aspects of me. I mean, I go by the name of Damel the artist, so which is something it came to me to have that as my name, but I did give it some thought as well to see how it could be heard or how it be received, because like art, it's never about what you do and say, it's how it's received. It's always about the audience. Well, I thought about it, and these are the different aspects of me. I mean, from the music and the poetry and the visual art and different ways and the way I feel about it. Essentially, that's what I am. You know, that's how I express myself, and that's how my creative process works.
When I actually when I actually look at, you know, your work, and I've really taken time to go through every aspect and every avenue of what you do, these are the things that really have encapsulated me and my expression to everything that I've seen of your work, especially your artwork. My word, outstanding, its strength, beauty. I can say very detailed, and it encapsulates the lifestyle, wisdom in itself. That itself has empowered me to actually drive towards something positive and something that I should be doing next in life. And for me, when I think about all of what you've created, when I was talking earlier in the show about having transferable skills. Now, come on, you are a clear example of transferable skills. Would you agree?
Totally. I mean, we are, as I was saying before, I have different aspects of me. I'm the one person. Each one of us is an individual person. And we forget that we are unique. We forget that we're all unique because people are striving to be like somebody else or like something else.
Yes.
Normally an image or a brand that's pushed onto us. So we strive so that we leave ourselves behind. So we don't recognize the different aspects that we have and different strengths. All we have to do is work on any area, and we could be, you know, if not mastering it, we can work on any aspect of ourselves and improve it to a level that you wouldn't believe if you just, you know, if you have that belief.
Right.
So transferable skills are within us all. You know what I'm saying? They're within us all. So it's just recognizing that fact.
Wow. I remember, I guess when I think back to, you know, some of the bios I've read and about you, you know, you're very clear, you know, the drum beats, you know, you woke up in the morning and it's this classic drum beat. And it was, and I also remember those in Gambia myself. You just start dancing.
Yeah. Well, can you imagine? I mean, if you've lived there or if you're born there, that's all good. So we're talking, obviously, I'm from West Africa, Gambia. So it's like one time I was in Jamaica by Black River and going to the market, and there was music playing. This is like a sound system playing on one side, the other side. So the vibe as you're walking through, it's like you're dancing as you walk. So you're living, basically. So in Gambia, it's the drums now. You know, you just hear people playing drums different places, and that's a hypnotic instrument. It's done me in a few times. I'm telling you, I find myself dancing without it planned to me. You know, so yeah, it's just well, there you go. I mean, it's a spiritual vibe, isn't it? I mean, drums have been used for all different reasons. You know, celebration, and so yeah. Thank you for that memory. I don't hear much in London, though. I don't hear much in London when I wake up.
You know what? Sometimes I can honestly say I create my own drum beat. Where? Maybe it's in my head. But do you know what? I am dancing. And I've got this
Yes,
thing
there you
going
go.
on constantly.
Yeah, it's your heart. Your
Oh,
heart. There
okay.
you
Thank
go.
you. And there was something else as well. When we talk about, um, I love your energy and your memories. I'm saying it's your memory because it would be a memory for you, but it's also a memory for me and
Hmm.
maybe to a lot of our other listeners. The paper round, the pocket money, and you went
Oh,
down
my
to
God.
that record shop.
Oh, my Lord. You found some vibe there, I tell you.
I've done my
You found the full
research.
one. You found the full works. Good, good. I'm happy to hear that.
Mm,
No, that's great memories. Some of our childhood things, So the basic reason again is linked to, as I say, about the art in me, So fashion has always been a big thing for me as well, as far as being brave, really,
yes.
and choosing a craft in my own way of dressing. So even though where I grew up, it was a totally different style of dress. I just dressed how I wanted because I knew what I wanted.
Of course.
So that's why I did a paper round to save money so I could go and buy my clothes. And from 11, I bought all my clothes
Listen,
to wear. Apart from my school uniform and stuff, I bought my clothes. So I needed that job.
Do you know what?
Yeah.
You just reminded me of something. I guess I was pretty much the same in some respect because I've
Mm.
got this name that follows me, and it's because I don't necessarily dress to follow designers. I just dress to suit
Yes,
me. I like to feel that I'm
exactly.
wearing the clothes rather than clothes are wearing me. And
Totally.
my nickname, one of my nicknames is Trendy Wendy because I just dress different. Sorry,
Here we go.
just to share that with you. So,
Yeah, yeah, we're kindred spirits then on that fashion front, right?
okay.
Our own fashion.
Yeah, in our heads, yes.
Yeah.
So,
Mm.
I'd noticed that you were placed in a church up in North London. I believe
Yeah.
Crouch End, is that right?
Yeah, I think, yeah, this is the exhibition. It's an exhibition I did in the church
Yes.
last September 2021. So I'm based in collage arts in North London. There's 5 different buildings of artists. So you get all different types, sculptors and millionaires, lots of painters, and a lot going on there for young people as well. There's a theatre company there as well.
Oh,
So I'm
wow.
based in collage arts. Yeah, but someone there introduced me to the Crouch End Open Studios exhibition, which is an annual exhibition in North London again, N8, N10
Yes.
area.
Yes.
So yeah, and it's an art trail. So all the artists have their own residence kind of thing. And a lot of the artists live in the area, so they exhibit in their house.
Hmm.
Otherwise, you find an appropriate place. So this last one, I'm looking, I'm searching. I went to about 7 different places to try and find a venue to exhibit in Crouch End.
Okay.
Nothing, couldn't find anything. But I know it's coming. I know the right place is coming. And it turned out I got taken to this church, Holy Innocents Church in Crouch End. And the feel of it, the vibe of it felt so right. And when I installed my work there, it was supposed to be a shared exhibition, but in the end, the other artists couldn't do it. So I was there by myself. And luckily, the piece I've got are of size, to be in a church and not be swallowed up. So that's where I exhibited. And the work that I took there was chimed in so well with being in a church, because I've got some religious statements that I make. Yeah, and the priest he was quite taken by
Oh,
it.
he is
So he did
amazing.
his, yeah, he based his sermon on, I mean, it was on over the weekend, Saturday and Sunday. The priest based his sermon on the Sunday on some pieces of my artwork that he picked out to talk about for his sermon. So it worked so well. It's just, it was meant to be. Yeah,
Ah,
very
absolutely.
good.
When I think of the prophecy, as he says, the prophecy, speaking the truth, John the Baptist and the Salt Lake, that really
Yeah.
resonated with me. Can you
Uh,
share anything more about that particular story or?
Well, yeah, sure. I mean, the main reason for me and art in its true form, let's say, for me, definitely, is to inspire people, is to uplift people, to bring an awareness of exaltations that people have had. People get put down.
Yes.
So it's a celebration, and it is to uplift. So John the Baptist, going back with art history, I wanted to make a statement about religious arts. And I also just thinking about John the Baptist as far as Christianity is concerned. And I'm thinking, hold on a minute, this guy Doug, he hardly get no props. This is the man that baptized Jesus Christ. How come you hardly ever hear about this guy? You hear about Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, and Judas, and everybody else. Oh, hold on a minute, what about JTV? So right, I'm going to talk about John the Baptist because that resonates with me and us as Black people and Africans in some parts of the world, how unrecognized we are. So, that statement had to be made. So I made that correlation with John the Baptist. So I based it in, they call it Lac Rose, which is the Lake Retba in Senegal.
Ah.
It's a salt lake. Yeah, a salt lake. So when the sun shines, the lake glows pink.
Oh,
and
wow.
I went there once. Yeah, and it was such a, real sight. So I had John the Baptist as a young Black man in the water with two other maybe just baptizees, and the Holy Spirit over him image-wise, and I had the Trinity there symbol, and just different things to bring attention to John the Baptist.
Yes.
And on another layer, on another level, I based it in the salt lake because I've written on the painting worth his salt. Now, if we know about salt of the earth in the Bible, which is like someone's really worthy, and also worth your salt means you are worthy of respect and you're due.
Okay.
But what happens is the salt that is mined from there, when it's being sold by the buyer from the West normally, the seller doesn't set the price, the buyer sets the price. Basically, I'll give you this much for that.
Gosh.
So showing a relationship that we have from the continent to the rest of the Western world in some levels. So that statement was about that relationship there that we have. So just try and also to cap it all off with religious arts, with Christianity especially, and Christianity is big in a lot of Africa, different parts. The imagery that we have, some people might think it's not important, but the images that we have were mainly painted during the Italian Renaissance period. And these painters, these artists were reflecting or using as models people around them.
Wow.
So when they're going to paint the Annunciation or whatever it is, they're painting people that look like them around there.
Yes.
Now this becomes the image over years that we start to believe that this is how these people really looked. So it's a question of reality. So John the Baptist being presented the way I've presented him, people have said to me, well, what's your thinking behind how you've painted John the Baptist? And my question really is, John the Baptist has been painted before. And I wonder if when you saw that painting, you questioned what the thinking of that artist was painting that way, but he's not supposed to be portrayed in this way as a young Black man.
Okay.
So all these questions, people would need to be talking about it. And it's a recognition of art from Africa and achievements.
Well, I'm going to
so
plug
it's
you.
multi-layered, but it's a painting that a lot of people take to.
Yes, no. I didn't mean to break your flow then, but I'm just
Hello?
aware that there's so much more here. Hello? Are we still there?
Hello?
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
I can, yeah. Did it cut out?
I think it just for a second it did, yes. But Damel, I also want to just mention very quickly, because I know that we're going to be talking about young people. And one or two of the other paintings that I saw, just really quickly skim over those, is George Michael, The Inspiration for Hope and Life. And then there was I really loved that painting. I thought that was outstanding. I loved the other painting, Stormzy, and the sprinklers, and I understand the meaning of that because of Grenville not having any sprinklers within their homes. Yes. And which I'm very much aware. I know I've read and I've seen you perform, and you discussed. It took you 5 hours to actually, paint that piece of work, which I thought was so amazing. and very
Yeah.
emotionally, eye capturing. And you could only just imagine, the, the emotions
Yeah.
around that day. Um, and then if I can also add the compound in Gambia, the homecoming. If
Mm.
I say, I really loved, when I looked at that picture, for me, you know what really made me feel like it was being welcomed home was the butterfly.
Mm.
It was the
Oh.
butterflies where it touched the skin was clearly welcoming him home. So I just wanted to add that.
Oh.
That's what I picked from your images there, and they're so
Y-
lifelike and very very real to me.
Oh, you're talking all these images, and the listeners now can't see what you're talking about, which is a shame.
Well,
But you
guess what?
can do.
Where can they look at these images?
Well, this is the church service actually. It's on my YouTube channel. So if you just go into YouTube and look up Damel Carayol Church Service, that's Damel Damel. Carayol is Carayol. The
Okay.
Mel Carayol Church Service. You'll see. I mean, you'll see the service. It's a very powerful thing actually, because it was about art as prophecy. And as the priest was saying, it's not only Moses and people that we think are prophets. There's prophets,
Yes.
there's a lot of us are prophets,
A
right?
lot of us
So
are.
you can
That's
see,
right.
yeah, we're prophets. Yeah, we are prophets.
I believe I
Um,
am in my
but
own way.
yeah, no, of course you are. If we believe in prayer, if we believe in our ancestors, then the answers do come to us. They
Hmm.
do. We just don't recognize it or don't believe. But if we do that, then yeah, we can prophesy.
Yes.
So yeah, also our website is www.damel, Damel dot life, Life. So there's music and poetry, and you can see my artwork there as well.
Mm.
Yeah, so yeah, while we're on it as well, there's also Disrupt Space. I'm part of an art collective of us as black artists representing ourselves,
Right.
which is www.disruptspace.org. So yeah, so just to say that, because as you're talking, I'm seeing the faces, you're seeing them, and I'm thinking, hold on a minute, people try to imagine it, So,
But isn't it great
but
if they
yeah,
can pick up that image just from us talking and getting
yeah,
the feel? Naturally,
oh
they will
yeah,
they will go across and start tapping in, and they want to see it for themselves because it is
tap in and see, yeah.
So when I
Well, the
think,
George Michael was
yeah, sorry.
the George Michael one. You're saying that was again, as a musician, a lot of my artwork that I do, visual art, I use song titles to name them. So that was called "Losing My Religion." Rather than going to explain the whole meaning of it,
Sure.
I'll just say, yeah, I changed it to Faith. I changed the name to Faith because I wanted it to be a bit more immediate, I think,
Right.
because that's a George Michael song title. But that's about humanity. It's about us and the different aspects of us and how we get pulled to the spirit and pulled away from it, and have beautiful creativity like George Michael
Mm.
has in his music. But also we have our troubles, don't we? We have our dilemmas, all of us. So
That's
it's
right.
always that struggle, right?
There is always that struggle, and I think what I mentioned to you earlier was about the struggles of our young people.
Yeah.
Again,
Yes.
are you there?
Uh, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. So yes, our
Right.
struggles with young people and with what they're going through, the youth of today. So what would you say would come to mind in the process?
Whoa. Well, you know what? I think young people for a long time now here have been so shortchanged. It's like they're getting so badly disrespected by institutions that should be nurturing them. It's been so bad. I think small things like, people have talked about youth clubs, but how important that was to us who had youth clubs when we were growing up. Because through youth clubs, you form a friendship group. So it's a natural friendship group because you're in the one place. But there was a purpose you're going there for, whether it's sport, music, something that bonded you together in a different way to what we're going to do, where we're going to go. We've got all this time in our hands and we've got nowhere to go. A lot of young youth don't have that place to go directly to. to meet up and to have trips out and just to bond, and that's one aspect. And I think art has a big part to play in this situation as well, in that some of the negative aspects that musically and in different ways, going back a little while now, have been financed big time and promoted big time, and to the detriment of some people, the way they react to that music.
Yes.
There's different aspects. So these are all, nurturing the young people. So, but there's so much potential. I find I have a lot of young people around me. In fact, I work in a primary school during the day just so that I can just try and give back
Fantastic.
to young people from a younger age. Yeah, so I'm there teaching them, trying to be a role model, really, trying to be an upstander, as they call me, and just showing what can be done and being an example. So come to mind. As things come to your mind, I find, once or twice, you better get it done. Start doing it, because that's something telling you this is what you're supposed to be doing.
Yes.
Right. So I find a lot of young people got so much creativity. With talking about the music, I mean, a lot of the UK young rap artists, listen to their lyrics. They've got such creativity, right? But a lot of them don't have the means, the direction, or the guidance to express that. And again, that would have been done through certain institutions nurturing those talents, and they're not there. Even things like apprenticeships that used to be there. So that's how I feel about young people right now. So
Yes.
they're really battling. And we need to do what we can about it as big people.
I totally
And
agree.
one of the ways is just by being examples and being role models, standing up and saying the right thing, and doing the right thing. So.
Sometimes,
Yeah.
would you not agree? Sometimes it's quite difficult. You may find it difficult to speak to a young person going through their troubles because they literally don't want to hear, or more to the point, they may have their earbud, what do you call those, earplugs in their ears.
Yes.
And you're talking,
Yeah.
you're talking away, and the plugs are there, and you think they've heard, and they've not even heard a word. So what I used to do, to believe me, my daughter,
Yeah.
because she does the music, the earplugs are in the ear all the time, and I really think she
Yeah.
heard me. And what I tend to do now is try and show in front of her doing things. So if she doesn't hear me, she
Right.
might see it.
Yeah, she can see. Yeah.
Or I get someone else,
Yeah,
like one
that
of
is.
one of the aunties, sorry to cut you, just one of the aunties or uncles to actually physically phone her away from
Yeah.
me. And guess what? Because they've rung her, she'll pick up the phone. So the message will get across somehow. I think what I'm trying to say is just we've got to try all different types of creativity to get through to our young people today.
Yeah, it is a bit of a fight, because the time we're living in right now, again, we are in a time of shutting ourselves off, right?
That's right.
Exactly what you're saying with the headphone. So you say hello to someone in the street and they don't hear a word, but with our young children from young ages as well, we have to say to ourselves, we don't really have that communal space where we sit in. Everybody's got their own
Agenda.
phone,
Yeah.
got their own TV, whatever it is that they need. They've got their own in their room. And
That's
so they lock
true.
off with the tablet and the phone. So that communication is with not people around you, for sure. I've been to a restaurant and I see these two guys came out to eat, and both of them, they didn't say a word. They're both on their phone
So you do what
for the
I
whole
do.
period of time.
I like to
Oh, my
people
Lord.
watch. I people watch, and I think
Oh,
society,
yeah,
what's
yeah.
really going on? And again, like you said, no talking. I've got this thing when I go out with friends, and if we do sit down, please, let's not do the phone. Please, let's not do the phone. Are you back? Jamal? Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
That's
Just breaking up
okay.
a little bit.
That's okay.
Hello?
We've reconnected.
Okay.
That's fine. That's technology for you. There you
Oh,
go.
I'm
That can
telling you.
disconnect and reconnect
Technology.
when they feel it's fine to do so just because of a battery.
Yeah, that
So
was timely, right?
it
That
was
was
very
timely.
timely, right? So 'cause I know
Yeah.
we're wrapping up soon, but I know that
Okay.
what you spoke about earlier, what comes to mind, and it's the process. Like you said, if it comes to mind once and and you do something else and then it comes to mind again, what's your response
Yeah.
to that? Just to remind the listeners.
That's you better do it. You better do it what it is, because coming to mind is coming from somewhere. Either you've meditated on it before or you've wished on it. Maybe a dream, because things come to us in the night. So if it's coming to you and it's of a righteous purpose, get it done. You better get on that, dip your toe in and check it out.
Absolutely.
And immerse yourself in something, because as I was saying before, I thought about how do you know when your prayers are answered for people who believe in prayer? How do you know? Nobody comes down to tell you, what it is. So we feel things in our soul, in our gut, So when we get that gut feeling,
yes.
Also 2, 3 in the morning, if your mind's been on something, the answers will come to you that time. So you should have a notepad by your side or your phone and record it, because that's when you're being told. So if it comes to mind, it's something you're supposed to do.
Listeners,
so
can
you need to
hear
get
this?
On with that.
Definitely make a note in the night. Just have that notepad and the piece of paper. Absolutely.
Seriously, that's when your answers are coming.
I'm really, really honoured to, have you on the show today. And there's something one of the listeners. Her name is Evelyn, and she's coming in from.
Hi, Evelyn.
And she's asking, in terms of the music, songwriting skills, and do you play an instrument?
Oh yes, we haven't even touched the music. We need a longer interview, right?
I think we do.
Yeah, I think we should. Music is something I've been doing for a long time, for decades. I've recorded and toured, and I've got material out there you can check out going back a while. Instrument, I'm a vocalist and a songwriter, but the first instrument I got was a saxophone. So I haven't played for a while, but I used to play sax, I'd say.
Definitely need to have some of your tracks on my show, because that's what the main show is about, jazz and saxophones.
Oh, wicked.
Saxophones is my baby.
I've got something for you then.
Thank you so much. But I think we definitely need to have you back on the show today. I mean, so today we're saying thank you, but we definitely need to have you back on the show. I know that there's a world of information you can share with us, your journey, and, looking into the future of where we can be going, and maybe how we can support a group of young people on a voluntary basis, and as to how we can move them forward with their arts and creative dreams and skills. What do you think?
Yeah, I'd like that. I really like that. Be a chance to just explore some more.
Yes.
And share some more, because that's what it's about, So listeners can, I don't know if they phone in or text in, and we can just share.
Absolutely.
That's what life's about, really. Thank you so much for giving me a platform just to say a bit about myself, but especially to the listeners for listening in. And with the young people, that's key. That's what life is about, really. It's always about the next generation.
Next generation, absolutely.
Yeah. It's always about the next generation. So I'd love that.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate you today, and I bow to your creativity. It's amazing. It's an eye-opener.
I'll bow to you.
Thank you. Stay with Injection Radio. Thank you so much.
Injection Radio.
Yay!
Yes. Tune in. Stay tuned. Thank you. Lovely to have the platform.
Thank you. And bye-bye. Bye now.
You're most welcome. All right. Take care.